everyone. My name is Nik Lahiri. Thanks for joining on the first official episode of the Good People podcast or video stream, depending on where you're watching. My name is Nik Lahiri. I'm the CEO of Essel Environmental, and I'm very excited to be joined by the one and only Joe Besagno, who just joined our company. Joe, how long has it been? Has it even been 2 weeks yet?
Not yet, Nick. I think we're clocking day 10 now. So
Day
it's
10.
been an exciting 10
Nice.
days. Yeah.
Hey, and you're still here, so we're good, man. We're excited. So for those of those who know you yet, I know we posted on LinkedIn and everything else. My goal today was to kind of find out a little bit more about you, your work history, kind of like I know you have a unique history in terms of working in the trades and things like that. But tell us a little bit about who you are and what brought you to Essel Environmental.
Yeah, well, thanks for introducing me, Nick. This past May, actually, I graduated from San Diego State University with a bachelor's in marketing, kind of on par with how this generation's going, going to college and trying to do some big things in business. That's what I was seeing a lot of. You don't see many kids nowadays dreaming of being an electrician or going into the trades. But I heavily considered it. I'm happy to be here at Essel, and I'm glad that I get to use my business degree to help us out, starting out on the sales side and hopefully take over that CEO position down the line.
Boom. You let me know when you're ready, man. It's only day 10 and you're aiming high.
Yeah.
I like it. So one question for you, Joe, is talk to me about that. So growing up, high school, things like that, a lot of people work in different types of companies, whether it's retail, restaurant, whatever. What are some of the experiences you've had and what led you to wanting to pursue something in the skilled trade space?
I had friends that did it all, worked at the frozen yogurt place, were serving pizza. A couple even got into, the classic marketing, selling knives. None of that really interested me. My dad was in plumbing my whole life, so I was always on job sites and exposed to that kind of personnel, that labor force. One of my good friends' dads, he owns a company over in Benicia, actually nearby where we are in Fairfield, West Coast Fixtures, and they are a millworks warehouse, and they're mainly working with Trader Joe's and a couple other grocery chains, but they make all of the internal cabinets, the refrigerator units, everything that's going to go into these grocery stores. That's what they make. And my friend was working there one summer, and I was looking for a job, and I didn't want to go do one of these other things that everyone seems to be doing. And I went into it and absolutely loved it. Started out as just a glorified warehouse monkey, sweeping sawdust and counting units of 2x4, and before you know it, I was forklift certified, running a CNC machine and downloading blueprints and completing cabinetry myself. So quickly learned, the handyman's lifestyle and really, really enjoyed it. So, it was time for me to go to college and not just, not take that route and get into a trade, but I'm happy that I landed at Essel and now I at least get to work with these people in the trades. They're my kind of people.
No, that's great. And so help me understand that. So for example, in a business like that, they typically, they're getting the designs and then they're literally producing it or fabricating it at the shop and kind of getting it ready for install? Is that generally how it works?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how upper management goes about landing a contract, but we were the sole provider of all things from, you go into Trader Joe's across the country now. They were originally just in California, but they are very artistic based. Everything, it looks very appealing, it's nice, it's colorful. So everything from the art you see on the wall to the shelving is done by West Coast Fixtures, and I believe that they've broken into some Whole Foods around the area and stuff, which is great. And then in terms of the designs and stuff, if you look across Trader Joe's, they're pretty standard. The shelving and the art, the fonts that you see, they're standard, and it's standard because it's just West Coast Fixtures that's producing this. So we would have reps come in from Trader Joe's, high ups. I didn't have the opportunity to speak with them very often, but and then what I believe would happen is I'd see them walk around and we would kind of just show them what we had in the works, and they landed on a couple different designs, and then we would mass produce those and get them shipped out all over the country to the Trader Joe's.
Wow, that's awesome. And so for you at doing that type of experience on a young age, like when did you kind of know, like, man, this is actually really awesome, like I want to pursue something in this sector or something in this industry in the future? Like, what did that look like for you?
Yeah, well, I met the laborers there. These were, rough around the edges type of people, and I grew up in Walnut Creek, a small little bubble, not too many of those folks over there. And I just got along with them great. They're easy to talk to. They're my kind of people. Went to college. That's the route that was meant for me. I'm glad I went and got my education. But in college, I got heavily involved with the College of Business and started speaking with a lot of more white collar people. Had a lot of friends in finance, joined a couple different committees on campus, and just interacting with these different people through the university facets versus what I knew in the warehouse and speaking with my dad's friends, it's just different. You know, you can say whatever you want connotations wise about either groups of people, but I just feel at home speaking with people that are in the trades and speaking with people that like to get things done with their hands in this construction space. So for the time being, I'm stoked to be here and be working with these types.
So for you starting a new position at obviously a new company, what for you, like, what's been the onboarding process like in the last 10 days?
Well, my immediate knowledge of West Coast fixtures, I don't think that they are your standard general contractor. So coming in here and knowing that that's primarily who we're going to be working with, I really had to understand the structure of that, how owners and clients speak with general contractors, the structure of bidding from those general contractors to subcontractors, and then just understanding the steps of construction from grading to construction, post-construction. No one my age knows what a punch list is anymore. I learned what that is very early on, and now I'm using it every day in my lingo. So it's really just understanding the terms and being able to speak the language of superintendents and project managers. That's really been my primary focus, with training. But when you're on the phones and you're using the lingo and you can just kind of be yourself and just speak to people as a person, and not just as a salesperson trying to push some product. It really just comes across as natural.
So for you, Joe, uniquely, when you and I first started talking, you had talked about how passionate you were about sales as well and wanting to learn that as a skill. Talk to us a little bit about where that comes from. Like, what are the things that you've learned about, let's say, the importance of sales, and especially someone like yourself starting out a career. It's unique to be able to just be focused on that and wanting the position like that. So what does that kind of look like for you, and what advice would you have for others that are, graduating and wondering, gosh, could sales be a career for me? Any insight you could provide in that would be great.
Yeah, definitely, Nick. Yeah, I'd say that I was blessed enough to have a lot of really good mentors, like I said, through the facets at the university at San Diego State. I got involved in the Fowler College of Business, met a lot of professors, got to have dinners with the dean. So I was blessed to have those experiences. And in looking for advice from them, I would say the summary of the main advice that I got overall from my professors, from the dean, was get into sales. No matter what you're going to be doing, get somewhere where you can get really solid sales training, because whether you're going to continue that route, whether you're going to get into account management, or you're going to go do something completely different, the training that you get in sales is going to make you a stronger candidate for anything that you want to do in the future. Any endeavor that you have going to include some sort of social aspect, and sales just kind of gives you the confidence and the ability to speak with people from all types of backgrounds. So it's really just a win-win. There's no negative side to getting sales experience. The only negative side is it can be uncomfortable for some people, but that's how you grow. And I fear that a lot of kids don't really understand that. So anyone listening that maybe didn't have the same opportunities to get advice, hear me out, give sales a try, maybe speak with some mentors you have in your life, get their opinion on it. But really, it's just a win-win, and it's going to make you better equipped to handle anything that gets thrown your way down the line.
And so for you, for the audience, in the last 3 to 4 days, I'd say, we started working together with the rest of the team on onboarding, on the sales side, calls and things like that. And so you're obviously kind of ground zero in talking to superintendents, project managers across the board. What's that been like for you in terms of just being able to essentially smile and dial, sit from the morning till the afternoon, and I hear you on the phone crushing it? Give us kind of the behind the scenes perspective of, like, from your first call to the most recent call you made. What's that been like for you?
It's been a journey, a quick one. Prior to my first call, I'd say that I spent about 10 minutes in between calls just staring at that call button, kind of going through in my head, oh, what's this going to be like? What is he going to throw my way? Being a little nervous. I could feel the sweat start to come. Eventually you got to hit call and you got to make it. And after about 20, 30 calls, you're used to that sweat You're used to kind of the adrenaline rush of not knowing, oh, what am I going to get on the other end? And it's honestly kind of become a game where you're navigating what kind of personality am I dealing with? What kind of day is this person having? Oh, it's a superintendent, so I feel like they're going to speak to me this way, but curveball, they're actually talking to me this way. So I have enjoyed it. You know, every day it is a challenge. It continually will be a challenge. There's no direct pathway to being successful in every single sales phone call. You learn that very quickly. But it's fun learning, hey, I'm hearing A from this superintendent, project manager, whoever it may be that needs our help. And that leads me to B, which may not lead me to C. That could lead me over to F. And I got to learn how to navigate kind of the pattern of conversation and lead it in the direction that we want it to go. But it's been fun. It has been definitely fun. Feeling much more confident on the phone now.
For you, Joe, when you think about kind of sales and skill trades, specifically in what you're hearing and meeting some of the people, you know, if you had some insight for others that are, you know, older, have a construction company, and one of the biggest conversations in the industry is how do we get more people, younger people, early 20s, whatever it might be, into the trades, into these types of jobs that aren't quote unquote traditional tech sales or tech job, things like that. What would be some of your insights in terms of how do you think we can get more people interested in the trades?
Jesus, unfortunately, I don't think I have the answer to that. What I will say is that kids are getting smarter. Okay, things are getting easier for kids to do with the advancements of technology. Computer in your pocket, that's not new. What is new is AI. All right, we have to be considering that, and that is going to be taking some jobs coming down the line. Now, I don't think AI is ready or will be ready in the next 5 years to take over any sort of trade labor. For anyone high up in a company in the construction space looking to get young people to come out, what I will say is that go to college campuses or even high school campuses, speak to the individuals that are looking for an opportunity to prove themselves, find them, have a base salary. A lot of kids leaving college aren't looking for something that's, you know, either too low of a base or low hourly rate. They're looking for some sort of protection that will let them get comfortable in a job and then allow them the opportunity to kind of show their worth. So there's got to be a base salary. Not many kids nowadays, especially college educated kids, are willing to jump ship or not go the corporate tech route for a low hourly rate or something that's going to be completely commission based. I would also say that we know that there's a trades shortage. That's a guarantee. Everyone's experiencing it, and it's tough, mainly on construction companies. It's tough to find good people, and that's why we're here, to help find good people for these companies. But there's a lot of young guys and girls that want to work hands-on with stuff. They want to be electricians. I think that they would truly enjoy it. There just isn't a lot of outreach or knowledge, awareness that these young people have in high school or even young individuals in college, understanding that there is a need for these skill sets. And we need to funnel them kind of that route. We just need to educate them, maybe speak with some public universities, get in, have some seminars on college campuses, go into college sales courses or business development courses just to educate the kids on what's out there, maybe have some internship opportunities. That's all I can say about that. Yeah.
No, that's great insight. You know, especially talking about being outreach, because that's one of the biggest things in hiring and recruiting is being aware and making others aware of the opportunities in different sectors. So very, very insightful for sure. You know, one thing that I remember you mentioning yesterday was kind of somewhat on the same note, in the sense of that the emergence of the side hustle, right? And for me, someone that's, you know, on the other side of 30 but not 40 yet, right? Side hustles is like a buzzword. But you said something that I thought was very interesting in terms of the number of people you see that are starting different types of side hustles. Talk to us a little bit about that. Like, what are some of the things that you've seen, you know, in that emergence of that, and where could there be some great opportunities?
Yeah, well, I would say that, you know, more recently, right around the COVID pandemic, when that started, there were a lot of social media figures that came out, such as Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, and their videos, while they may have sounded clickbaity, for the TikTok, YouTube short formula, it was golden. They were talking about the right things, about don't go, you're not going to have to work a 9 to 5, you listen to me. A lot of 14, 15, 16-year-olds, that's money to them. So they're educating, creating awareness for these kids, and they're kind of given almost a formula. Gary Vee's talking about get on every single social media platform you can, learn how to monetize it. The kids are on social media anyways, might as well be making money off it, just sharing what you're doing. It's pretty easy on a Sunday to go to a garage sale, look up a couple items, see what they're selling on eBay, turn a couple $100 in a day. Most people out of college aren't making a couple $100 in a day in a corporate space, despite working for 8 hours versus going to 3 or 4 garage sites, garage sales and getting that done. I actually have a couple friends that decided not to go to college once graduating high school. They started their own power washing company. And now what they do is they go to well-off neighborhoods in the Bay Area, and they're just knocking doors. And they're not selling knives, they're not selling solar. They're just simply offering their power washing service, their car detailing service. Not only are they, offering that and more often than not getting accepted on those offers and getting paid for it, they're filming with mic'd up going door to door. They're filming their pitch on how they're landing these deals. They're using sales tactics.
That's awesome.
They're using sales tactics that they're researching online. And now these people, my buddies, they're posting content that's showing even younger individuals just how easy it is. And it's almost like they're giving out a free sales training for the 14-year-old scrolling on TikTok, learning, hey, maybe I want to do that too. So the emergence of side hustles is real. It's something to consider. And hopefully maybe we'll be able to do something about getting those people over onto our side on the construction side of business.
Nice. No, that's great. I know we were talking about some pressure washing and stuff like that. So that's really interesting. So for you, I guess the question would be, you have a desk job technically, right? So what would be a side hustle that you would start, and at what point would you ever decide side hustle could become my main hustle? Like what would, if you had to go that route, what would you pick?
Well, I gotta say that's a dream. That is a dream question. I will say I tried to start doing a little flipping business, me and my friend in college, around the San Diego College area on OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, lots of couches and furniture, especially right around moving season. College kids can't move these big couches and stuff, they just leave them. So we, in my buddy's pickup, would pick up 10, 15 couches, and then over the next 5 months, slowly start flipping them,
Nice.
get some spending cash. So that was something, that was fun. I really wish we documented it, because I think that what I would love to do is just start a YouTube channel, get a following, build my own brand. Eventually you can turn that into whatever you want, whatever you're doing. As long as you have a brand that's you can have a following around you. And then whatever you are going out and trying to do, whatever your endeavors are, people will watch if you have a brand for yourself. So I got to say, getting a YouTube following would be a pretty cool thing to do.
Right. And we were talking about that kind of a little bit, right? In the sense of it's just interesting that so many, like a lot of people like have similar aspirations, including myself, obviously. And there is technically a playbook on what other people have done, right? So one of the key things, and this is kind of want to end with, Joe, is what do you think separates the doers versus the want-to-doers, if you will?
We're all want-to-doers, but the doers do. It's in the name. It's Gary Vee always says it. A barrier to entry into the social media thing is just consistent posting. And, an issue with that is ideas. So I can post 5, 6 ideas. I think you actually mentioned, or it was someone we were speaking with, that if you have a podcast, after your 7th podcast, if you can do that on, your schedule, you're good. If you can continue that,
right,
you guys are on the right track. But if you can't get the ideas flowing early and you're not consistent with your posting, you're never going to get anywhere. You're going to be a want-to-doer. You're not going to be a doer. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. And I think kind of one of those things is just trying to think about what creates that bridge, right? Because I feel like all of us have that willingness, and when push comes to shove, we do cross that bridge, right? And we've all done it in different aspects of our lives, careers, etc. But what I find always interesting is, like, even obviously for myself as a business owner, is you know the path, you know the playbook, and in various ways, it's just how to build that bridge between being a want-to-doer to being a doer, and whether it's really that grand of a thing to think about. Because I think a lot of people always talk about, in your mind, you create such a big deal about it, right? You almost psych yourself out, and then you lose time and things like that. So for me, it's really the conversation in the head is just like, all right, what's the first step? And that's really the kind of like what I'm focusing on through this. This is a perfect example. I started talking about it just a day or two ago, and I think it was last week or something like that. And I was like, man, like let's just do it. And kudos to you for being our first guest, first experiment, and just being like, hey, let's go. I think that's exactly what it takes to kind of have an idea, have someone else that's being like, hey, let's roll, like let's make it happen, and then here we are, the Good People Podcast.
We're throwing things at the wall. We're gonna see what sticks, and I'm happy to be part of that.
Nice, man. This has been good. This has been great, Joe. You've got some really good insight. What I'd like you to do, the last two things, is what really excites you about sales so far, Joe? Like, again, you've had 2 weeks in, you've had some calls. Looking forward 3 to 5 years, where does Joe Besagno see himself, and is it in the sales world, or what do you think that looks like?
I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 2 years, but sales is going to get me there. No question about that. If you can sell, you could do anything. So just growing that confidence and being able to know I can do anything I set my mind to. That's the goal.
Nice. Love it. All right, Joe, thanks again for joining. Thanks again for being part of this great experiment. Looking forward to making it happen.
Thanks for having me, Nick. See you guys.